guys, I wanted to show you how to make your own Bionicle themed YouTube banners. And what you're going to need to do to make your own is first you're going to need a YouTube banner template, which looks like this. I'll show you. I got the YouTube banner template from YouTube Help and Channels section, which is this page right here. I'll include a link of this in the description below of this video. You scroll down and you'll go to Channel Art Guidelines, and then you'll find this part here, which will then give you a choice of download for a template. You can either download one for your Photoshop or one for Fireworks. The Photoshop one didn't work for me on my program, so I had to use this one instead. Now, there are some things that I did to my template which I needed to adjust. So the template itself comes in the exact ratios that are required to make a perfect YouTube template that will properly work on your channel. So this part here, in original, it was just these bars here, and these bars were added. I put a black block over it to make a perfect, absolute size that will fill up your whole channel art space. I will show you a little bit that in a little bit. Now, when you have this channel art thing, you're going to want to make a new layer, and you can do this in either Photoshop, GIMP, or any kind of program that you have, just as long as it's a digital program. I put the layer down here, and then I choose my color, which I usually color it black, and then here I will lower its luminosity, and that's for a later bit in this instruction video. So now I'm going to tell you something real quick. This here is your canvas size. What you'll need to have for a proper canvas size is, let's see, 2052 pixels by 426 pixels. So that's important. You want that to be exact, and I made this to fit this area here. So you'll find out exactly why you have to have a canvas size to work on. Now, what you'll need to do to make your banner, I'm going to show you this. I chose a simple MOC picture of my character Perlite, and what you're going to do is take the select tool and select your image. Then click Control and C to copy. Go to your canvas and then click Control V. You'll see it's very big on this canvas, so we want to shrink it with our little arrow tool. Oops, don't like that. I'm going to resize it again. Now then, I tend to resize my image to fit the canvas so that the full thing is in. Now, you will find there are some difficulties with certain kinds of photographs. This one specifically is good because it's head-on, but I will show you some techniques later on in this video on how to crop odd cropped images. Now, click OK, and we get this image. Now, what you want to do before you go any further is take your wand tool, go over your image and click that. You'll select the background, then click Shift and hold it down while pressing more areas. You want to select areas that you don't want as part of the image. Now you'll see that it has selected parts that you don't want to be deleted when you click the cut button. So I'm going to show you how to work with this. I go to the selection brush thing and click selection, and you want to say you don't want these parts, which is this button here. It means deselect. So I zoom in a little bit and I start to deselect the parts that I want to stay, which in this case would be these here. You want to erase any parts that you want to keep. So this is easier when you have a little drawing tablet, which I do. But you can do it with the mouse, it's just going to take more time. So, deselecting all the things that you want to keep. And this is exactly how I did everyone else's banners when I had problems or when I bumped into situations with my wand tool selecting parts that I still wanted to keep. So just keep going, go around the edges here. And get into these parts. I will give a tip while I'm doing this. Some of you said that you aren't very good with digital programs and stuff. Well, I have a little confession to make. The way I learned was by going to the help files and also by playing with it, experimenting. That's how I learned. So you should try it. Anyway, you click this button to select parts that you do want. This one here, and I don't want parts in here, so I'm going to erase those with my tool, and I'm going to keep adjusting that until I get what I want. And then I'm going to take my wand again and see if I can select parts that still show white in the background, which I want to get rid of. So we want to get rid of these. Okay, now you click Control X, and that will give you this. If you have any fuzzy parts or stuff like that, I'll either take an eraser to it or I will go back and do more touch-up work with the wand. But you can see now I have my character and the background is now gone, so I can make a new background. What you want to do next is you want to right click and you want to say duplicate layer. I do this in case this one messes up. Now what happens is you have a layer 2 of your image, and I just click this button to make the second one disappear. And I'm going to go into my filters. This is where the whole entire comic book theme comes in. You're going to click cutout. And we're going to play with the levels a little bit. You see over here to the right, you'll see that there is an option to make the levels look different. So you have edge simplicity, which I always keep it to 0. And then you have the choice to make this look however you please. I keep it to 8. And you click OK, which gives you this posterized image. Then you want to click Filter again, go to Artistic, go to Poster Edges. You'll see that it outlines in black. You can choose edge thickness. I usually keep it at the lowest, 0. Edge intensity, you can make it as thick as you please, which I'm going to make it about that thick. And posterization, which will give you the choice of making it look a little bit more posterized than it was before. So I'm going to choose this one right here and say OK. You'll see that there's a little bit up here left over from the original photo. All you have to do is erase it. So that is the first step to getting your character onto your canvas size. And now we will go on to background. Now we get into the background bit. I go over to my canvas again. I make a new layer, and you want to make sure the layer is beneath your character layers. Now that we have a new layer, I tend to take the point sample tool, which is for selecting colors. And because I want my colors to match fairly well, I'm going to click on one of the shades in here, which in this case will be purple. Then I'm going to choose some special brushes, which I got from brusheasy.com. I usually work with themes on a character depending on the element or whatever they have, and I also tend to go by color scheme, and I try to match it up, and I'm also work on making the banner match and point at the character and the name. So what I want to do first actually is adjust this figure and move her over a bit. And in order to get my banners proper, I will take this off a little. I will select my channel art and I will drag it over my banner. And then I will adjust it till I only see the black bars. The reason why you do this is so you know where the text and logo safe area is in order to get a proper center. Then I click the I button and make it not visible. We go back to our layer and we have my character where I need it to be. And we click the brush tool again. I'm going to select something simple from this brush collection, which, let's see what matches her. Nah. Let's see. Still not quite. I go through a process of choosing what seems to match the theme best and what goes where and how well it fits, what it looks like. There's a lot involved in thinking. So I kind of like this. And I'm going to stamp that there, and I might make a few of those. And it's kind of cool. It's okay. And if you don't like it, you can adjust the size by using the arrow tool, which in that case I will put it to there. Now that I have a little bit purple, I'm going to choose some pinkish purple from my character. And I'm going to make another layer and make sure that layer is above the first background layer, so you can see I'm now on a new layer. I'm going to choose another brush, which I think I do like this one. So, or maybe this one. So we put that there, and I'm kind of winging it. I usually do better when I don't have to, make a video or whatever, but we can choose whatever we please from this thing, which we go through a lot. Well, you can see how I think and how I work. I just click through stuff and I try to find something that would fit, look good. However, like I said, you play with it. I think I'm going to choose that actually. We're going to put that on both sides. And then I will choose another set, and this time even darker. And I'm going to go over here and choose another color. Go to my brush tools. And I'm going to see if I can add some wing shapes in here, maybe. Nah, don't like those. Ooh, how about this? Yeah, that should be good. Now, if you like the way a brush thing looks and you want it to be the same, I click duplicate layer on that exact brush stroke, and then I take my selection tool, I go to image, rotate, and then you go down to this section here and say flip layer horizontally. Then we drag and stick it here, which will make it exact with those two. It's kind of pretty, looks kind of neat, I guess, for a experiment. And I'm just going to do a little bit more, so I'm going to choose the pink again, go into my brushes, choose something a little more interesting, I suppose. How about something like this? Maybe? And you can also rotate brushes, I might add. So if you like to rotate a brush in this program, you just do that. And I'm going to rotate it and put some up here. And that seems to be pretty okay, I guess. And I'm going to choose one more brush. And I think I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to stick that in there. So you see you get some kind of interesting things, and you can do more than this. Let me show you real quick. I'm going to choose two different purple variations, and I'm going to choose that. You can click this gradient tool, and you want to make a new layer, and then you just want to drag your gradient tool down. And you'll get something really different that looks like this. And I tend to lower the levels. And you can do stuff like that, but I don't quite like it, so I'm not going to keep it. Or I might adjust it to look a little bit different. Still don't like it. Nope, I'm not going to keep it. So I'm just going to stick with this and as an example. And then what you do is I zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to choose a blue color here, like that one. I'm going to go to my text. Now, so far, you can see that it looks okay, and you're going to click this on and off to make sure. I might increase the level just a little bit just to see the bars. And you'll see I am in the text logo save area, and I just have to work with it. So while I'm at it, you can move things underneath the layer if you want to by clicking your layer. And I'm going to move her over just a little bit more. I'm going to keep her right there. Then I'm going to turn off this top layer and go back. Now you just want to take your text and click on the thing. I have it at 150, which seems to be a pretty good size. And I'm going to choose one of my favorite fonts, which you have a lot of fonts to choose from in this program, but not everyone has as many. I just play a lot with stuff, so I like Milano, which is what I use a lot. So I'm going to write down my character's name, and you'll see that I get this. Is it in the text safe area? Not quite. It's a bit big. So we're going to adjust it again. I'm going to move my figure over a bit. Check. And then I'm going to go here, take my text, and I'm going to move it in. Then we're going to turn the top off, and we have, again, this, and I'm going to underline it like so. And you can choose different styles. You can make it look different with bevels or anything like that, and I tend to really like metallic, so I'm going to stick that on there. Now you can see it kind of looks a little bit odd, and it kind of bumps into the character a bit, so I'm going to resize this again, and I'm going to choose 140 for this project, and you can see that it is now more fitting and more interesting. So you have that. You can also make shapes if you want your text to show up better. So I'm going to choose an odd silver or pink color as usual, and I'm going to go to my shapes. You can choose custom shapes here, and I'll go to, let's see, no, shapes. And I'm going to take this, and you want to go here beneath the text, and you can make a shape for your text to sit on. And if you don't like it to be solid, you can choose a different color, go through variations, or lighten it up a little bit. And then you can adjust your text again and do whatever you like. So you really just have to play with it. That's pretty much the choice. And you get something kind of like this. So far, you can see that everything kind of points towards the character, and her body kind of points towards the name itself. So we're going to adjust her a little bit more, make sure everything's centered, and you will see that it is now centered and good. Now that we have a fairly decent looking banner, which could look better, you want to merge your layers together. I tend to save my program file so I can work on it later if I want to. But you're going to click this, one of the layers, and then you're going to click Control and hold it down while you press each one of your chosen layers. Then you're going to right click and say Merge Layers. I also will merge it with the white. Now we have our merged layers. And what we're going to do next, we're going to take the Select tool. We're going to select it and say Control C for copy. Then we're going to go over to our chosen YouTube banner size, and we're going to say Control V. This will end up as a layer over top. Although from the looks of it, I selected the wrong thing. One moment. Click again, copy. Now we say paste. Okay, you'll see that it shows up as a layer beneath my translucent template, and I do this so that I can make sure it fits properly. Now you'll see that we have it here, and there are like little black spots that you might want to adjust your template to, so you just adjust it like that. And that should be about good. So we're going to say yes, and then we're going to turn off the template. And the reason why we do this is so that you take your canvas size, you work on it as a small canvas first, and then you take the canvas that you worked on and you paste it onto a full-sized banner thing so that it will properly fit onto your YouTube. And this part specifically will show up as your sign on your YouTube channel. That's why we do it this way. So, that's pretty much how you make banners. And I will go over one more thing after this. As I said earlier, sometimes you will get odd photos with funny crops, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did through an old banner that I made for Killon, or however you pronounce that name. So over here, I'm going to turn off this, and you will see that originally his original photograph had a square cut out of it, and it did not fit properly on the banner as it needed to. So I have figured out that circles really help draw your attention to something. So what I did to make his character look right was go to my selection tool and clicked the elliptical area. And I selected his character and went through several steps of this. This is just an example. I selected this spot and went over it several times until I got it correct. And once I got it right, I just copied it. I clicked Control-C and then I pasted it, which got me this rounded version where he's actually cropped. And then what I did to make his character look right is I put a silver circle around it, which you will find in the shapes section. And you can play with the shapes and do the same thing with them as you do with text by changing up their texture, their style, and all that. Just experiment. So after that, I took his character, and after it's been cropped with that method, I then posterized and poster edged his character and got the final results. So it's really not that hard. You just experiment, and once you do that, you can play around with blotching in textures and all that, and you can make the paint basically point towards the figure. You can notice that all these brush strokes point at the center part, and he's surrounded with a circle, which makes you even more drawn to his character. And then his hand is outstretched to show you the name. So everything is kind of pointing towards itself, which is a good sign of composition. So have fun, try this, and may you have the best of luck with making your own YouTube banners. One last thing I will note when making your banners. When you upload your banner to your YouTube channel, you'll notice that you are going to have your icon image in the corner here, and you're going to have whatever else over here, like a link to your blog or something like that. So I forgot to mention that when you're making your YouTube banners, consider that parts of it will be covered up by your icon over to the left. That's why I center all my characters around here, and I usually put the name on the right, because you'll see the right side will show the name and whatever detail you want. Specifically over here. If you put the name over here, you might risk getting it covered by your icon. So that's just my final tip. Have fun!